Let's discuss our second approach, which is with the bind view and bind view controller. So let's have a look what is in the bind view. We are binding a view with the view model. Here the bind view is of type UI view, and through generics we are passing a view model, and we are calling the view model a view model. In the initializer we are initializing the view model, and we are also creating two functions, setup view and setup layouts. Setup view, we will set up the initializer, and setup layout, we will add the constraint. And we are adding those two functions in the run flow and calling the run flow from the initializer. And in the bind view, we are binding a view controller. This is of type UI view controller with a view and a view model. The view is of type UI view, and the view model is of type whichever view model we pass. And then we are calling the view a root view and view model a view model. And then in the initializer, we are initializing this view and view model. We are calling the view root view because otherwise it will conflict with the UI view controller view. So we have changed the name to root view. So let's see how we are using this in the view and view controller. Here in the home view, we have replaced the UI view with the bind view, and we are passing a view model, in this case home view model. So we don't have to track any reference here of the view model. So the view model is coming from bind view now. From here is coming. So all the view model reference are from bind view now. So as you can see, this is much more cleaner. And let's see a view controller. The view controller, we are replacing the UI view controller with bind view controller. In the bind view controller, we are passing a view and a view model. So we do not need any view and view model reference here, and we do not need to load the view model from here anymore, which we have done it in our previous approach. And here we are calling the view a root view. If you click the root view, you'll see this is coming from the bind view controller. So this is tracking the view, which is home view now. Let's see in the detail view. Similarly, we are replacing the view with the bind view and passing a view model, in this case detail view model, and we do not have any view model reference here. And we are not calling any initializer. Instead, we are calling setup views and setup layouts. Also in the home view controller, we did the same. I forgot to mention it. Here we are not calling any initializer. We are calling override and setup view and setup layouts. These are coming from the bind view. This is that. In the detail view controller, we are replacing the view controller with the bind view controller, and we are passing a view and the view model. And from the home view, when we click any cell, we used to go to a detail view controller. But before going to the detail view controller, we have to create a detail view model and then a detail view. In the view, we have to pass the view model, and in the view controller, we have to pass the view and view model. So that's how you initialize a view controller now. Before initializing a view controller, you must need to initialize a view model first, and then a view with a view model, and then a view controller with a view and view model. So that's how the view controller initialization works. So let's check out the favored view. Here also we are replacing the UI view with bind view and passing a favored view model. We do not have any view model reference here. It's coming from the bind view. Here this view model is coming from the bind view, and every reference of view model is coming from bind view. And the favored view controller, we are replacing the UI view controller with the bind view controller. Similarly, we are passing a view and a view model. And that's how the binding works. And one more change in the scene delegate. It was a tab bar controller, and tab bar controller has two view controllers, first view controller and second view controller. Now the first view controller is home view controller, before initializing a home view controller, you have to create a home view model and then a view. And in the view, you have to pass the view model, and the view controller, you have to pass the view and view model. So that's how the home view controller consists of now. Similarly, the favorite view controller, it consists of a view and a view model. Then we are creating instance of a first view and second view, and then we are using it in the tab bar. So whenever you need to create a new view controller with this technique, you have to first create a view model, and then you have to create a view, and then you have to create a view controller with a view and a view model. That's how the binding works. And from this, it is very easy to create a coordinator architecture. We will see it in the next episode. And finally, we have the test. In the test, we do not have much changes at all. In the view, we just need to replace the view needs to change like this. Now we have to pass a view model with you have to pass a view with a view model. That's it. In the detail view, same way you have to create a SCT with a view model, and a favorite view also. You have to create a SCT with a view model. That's it. There's no change at all except this. So that's how the binding works. It makes it much more easier, and from this it is very easy to convert it into coordinator pattern or MVVM pattern, which we will see next.